King's Daughters Medical Center and Brookhaven Urology are pleased to announce the addition of Dr. Joel Duff to their medical staff. Dr. Duff specializes in general urology, kidney stones, men's and women's urological health, and diagnosing and treating urologic cancers. Don't let these health issues restrict your lifestyle and keep you from enjoying life with your family and friends. Dr. Duff and the staff at Brookhaven Urology are here to serve your needs. To make your appointment, call 601-833-5713 today.
Ben, I know it's a quick turnaround from Saturday, but initial impressions of Arkansas from what you've seen.
Yeah, Arkansas is very good. They had a really good transfer that was out for probably a month. This kid Smith that transferred from Indiana. He makes a huge difference for him at the power forward position. He's a very good player, and he's been back now a few games. And they have very good young talent. They combine that with some graduate transfers. They have a point guard, Tate, that was at Northern Kentucky a year ago. It's a very good player. Note, the number one that comes off the bench for him, is probably their best offensive players per minute played. The kid Moody is going to be a pro. It sounds like he'll be drafted at the end of this year based on all the stuff that you read. So they've got a lot of talent. Sills is incredibly tough. They have very good talent. The big kid inside is 7'3", and the first time I watched him play this year was early in the season. They played, I think, North Texas, and he blocked, like 8 shots in that game. And I was just going, wow, this guy is really formidable. Van Owen, I think, how you say it? Is that how you say it, Bob? How do you say his name?
I'm sorry, it's Connor Vanover.
Yeah, Vanover. He's a good player, and he shoots threes. I mean, he's skilled. So they've got very good pieces and really play hard and do a lot of good things defensively to disrupt you, and are very good offensively in their motion.
And I know you had a home game mixed in there for the Big 12 SEC Challenge, but how daunting is it to have 4 SEC contests in a row right in a row?
Yeah, never easy. This is obviously a very tough place to play. At Arkansas, and so we're gonna have to play really well to have success over there tomorrow night, and it's an exciting challenge. I mean, they're good. They're very good. They've got a lot of talent, and they can really score, and they can really defend.
We'll swing it over to Paul Jones. Paul, go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned after the game and after the really after the last couple games, you talked well about Davion Smith and his development. What have you seen to get him to this point? What has it been? Just more experience, slowing down? What have you seen from him?
Well, I thought in the last game in particular, he did a great job jump stopping and really tight with the ball. Only 1 turnover, 9 assists, and that's the key. The reason why we lost both at Alabama and Tennessee ultimately, as we talked about in the last week, were the turnovers, and turnovers that led to easy baskets. That's something that's key about tomorrow, is handling their double teams and handling their run and jump and hurting them when they do that. And Davon is a key to helping solve that riddle because of his ability to penetrate and kick and make plays. And he scored at the rim on 5 times as well in the last game.
We'll swing it up to Columbus and John Sokoloff for a couple of questions. John, go ahead.
Hey, Ben. After kind of watching the film, from Saturday, how would you kind of assess where your team is at right now heading into, about halfway through SEC play?
Well, I think the last 3 games, John, we've really improved defensively. I think we've played the best 3 games in a row defensively than we've done all year. And, anytime you play good defense, you give yourselves a chance to win. And it's, always true, and especially on the road. Defense is what travels. And so we're going to have to really do a good job in transition. We're going to have to do a good job in the half court. Arkansas runs a lot of motion. They probably do as good a job as anybody in our league at cutting without the ball. So that's something we're really trying to emphasize here today in our practice, is a lot of the cuts that they make and not losing vision of your man. A lot of times people stare at the ball, and as soon as you lose vision of your man against the Hogs, they're going to back catch you and burn you. They really do a great job of that.
And last one from me, a quick follow-up. You guys obviously got that huge win on Saturday by 40-plus points, but is it kind of hard to take away some things from a win like that when a team is missing that many contributors?
We needed to win desperately. That's what I take away from that game is we were desperate for a win and got it, so I was very thankful.
We'll go up to Fayetteville and check in with Bob Hope for a couple. Bob?
Hey, thanks. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good to see you, Bob.
You know, you got your two guards are each averaging 17.6. So Eric usually likes to make one guy focal point, but it's kind of hard when you got two guys averaging 17.6. What would you say about those guys as a backcourt and you know, having two such big scorers?
They're both having real good years, both real good players, and you know, been pleased with their performance and consistency for the whole season. They've been very consistent. So I'm excited about how both DJ, who's our best perimeter defender, and Iverson, who's shooting the highest percentage both at the foul line, from three, and from the field on our team are doing.
And then you mentioned having success in Walton Arena. You're 3-1 there at Mississippi State. I know you had that loss with Northern Arizona a long time ago, but Mississippi State's won 6 games in this series. There aren't too many teams that beat Arkansas 6 in a row. There aren't too many coaches at one school that are 3-1 at Walton Arena. Just what would you say about that success?
Yeah, it's a little shocking because it is such a hard place to play, and we've been very fortunate. I mean, we've had a lot of good breaks. Last year we won at the buzzer on a tip-in by Abdul that, you know, was, you know, just awesome. And they were obviously very good a year ago with those two, you know, Mason Jones and Isaiah Joe, you know, carrying the load offensively. So that was a very fortuitous tip. His only basket of the game.
Yeah, I remember. I got a couple more, but I'll turn it back to Matt if time allows. Come back around, please.
Okay.
Bob, go ahead. You can get your next one in.
Okay. You know, Eric mentioned this on his radio show last night. I hadn't remembered it, but he said you had a deal on Desi Sills. Do you remember that? Is that right?
That I had a what?
Eric Musselman said you had your center covering Desi Sills for part of last year's game.
Yeah, we had Reggie Perry guarding him, not
Reggie
Abdul.
Perry, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they played so small, that was the best matchup we had for Reggie. I mean, he wasn't going to guard. Who was the senior three-man that was like really good that killed everybody last year that transferred back from SMU?
Jimmy Witt.
Yeah, so I mean, he wasn't going to guard Jimmy Witt. He wasn't going to guard Mason Jones. He wasn't going to guard Isaiah Joe. He wasn't going to guard. I'm trying to remember who Abdul guarded. So there weren't a lot of choices.
Yeah, he probably guarded Bailey, maybe Adriel Bailey there.
Yeah, I mean, Abdul had Bailey. So I mean, when they were playing small, that was the best matchup we could find for him.
Okay, he said that last night. I just couldn't remember what he was talking about.
True story.
My memory isn't that good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess you guys, you know, whatever Iowa State had, you guys beat them by 39, I think it was, or maybe it was 49. A lot. I mean, how good does that make your team feel coming into this game?
I think that was fun because not only did we got everybody a chance to play. You know, we got some guys some important minutes that, you know, contribute every day in practice and don't get to play much in the game. So it was a fun game for our team to, you know, get a resounding win. And hopefully that bodes well for us moving forward.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Matt.
No worries, Bob. We'll go ahead and go to Joel Coleman. Joel, go ahead.
Ben, you were talking earlier about the last 3 games, the defense that you guys have played, and a big part of that's probably, you know, Cam being back in the starting lineup a little bit, and the defense that he brings you guys. We've kind of seen so far that he kind of has the potential, maybe, you know, to be an elite defensive player as his career rolls along. I'm just curious where you think his game could be offensively as he continues to grow and mature.
Yeah, he's got to, you know, keep growing in that area, you know, as a shooter. I mean, when you look at his percentages from the foul line and from 3, they're both, you know, much lower than you would like to have. And so that's really the area for him moving forward that he's got to improve. But that's really in the offseason. I think he's actually improved. Now, he shot it great the day before we played our last game, and then his first shot, he shoots an air ball, shooting it a little quick. But he does so many things well that he contributes to winning in so many ways that, we need him out there.
We've got time for a couple more. Just a reminder to queue them up in the chat. We'll go to Robbie. Robbie, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I think the last 3 games, Jalen Johnson's really struggled to find what he was doing offensively really well. And, it looks like Cameron's kind of taken some minutes here and there from what he's doing defensively. What do you think's been the issue for Jalen the last couple of games, offensively especially?
He had our first bucket of the game against Iowa State, which was an important one. And I actually he had another shot that he scored, which I think was a 3. But he had a couple shots that he missed where he's guarded. He's got to just let the shot come to him. In fact, he had his second shot of the game. The guy's right on him, and he's anxious to score. And so I think he's just got to settle down and let the game come to him somewhat offensively, as opposed to hunting it. He had another shot where he airbanked one in the first half, which you never see him do. He's a really good shooter. When we were shooting this morning, and he was shooting the heck out of the ball from 3. So I think he'll be fine from that standpoint. The biggest thing for him. Pardon me.
I was going to ask about the freshmen too. I know Cam and Davon have played a lot of minutes, but some of the other guys that you brought in, they got a lot of opportunities the other night to make some plays and get some minutes, some extended minutes. How did you feel like those guys played the other night, and how do you feel like they're playing when they get their
I think
opportunity?
Derek Fountain's right on the cusp of breaking into the top 9, which is what we're playing. I mean, he's right there. He plays 2 positions. He can play some 4 and he can play some 3. And he was the first one to come in the other day. The guys that aren't playing that much, and he's probably deserving of more minutes the way he's been practicing. So I'm really excited about Derek in particular in terms of his future. He has a good feel offensively. He came in here at 200 pounds. He's 219 pounds now, so he's gotten a lot stronger. He's very young. He had just turned 18 in the middle of the summer. And he has a very, very bright future when you look at his potential.
We'll go back to Bob to wrap it up. Bob, go ahead.
Okay. Coach, you mentioned last year's game in Walton Arena. That was a wild one because you guys had a big lead, and then Arkansas took the lead, and you guys got that play at the end. I mean, the very last second. I know you've had a lot of great wins in your career, but what do you remember about that game that stands out, and where does that maybe rank with regular season wins anyway you've had?
Yeah, that was a great win for us. It was really important. What I remember is Reggie Perry did a great job at the end of the first half pushing the ball and then giving the ball to Tyson Carter at the exact moment that he needed to catch it to hit a 3 to give us momentum going into half. I think we were up 9 or 10. I remember Mason Jones getting to the foul line, I think 22 times or maybe 23 times in that game and making, probably 20 of them. He was really the key factor in, they're bringing them back because we were up 15 in that game, if I'm not mistaken. And he did a phenomenal job. He's a really good player. I love him as a player. But it was just a great, to hang in there. I thought Tyson did a great job down the stretch of that game. I thought Iverson Molinar early in the game gave us great minutes off the bench. He had about 8 points in the first half and had a great full court 1 bounce pass for a dunk to Robert Woodard, or to DJ. It was actually to DJ. I remember a lot of plays from that game because we had it in our highlight film.
I remember you were kind of soaked in the interview because I guess they threw water on you in the locker room or something.
Yeah, that game was definitely deserving of that.
Of a little water. And then, in Arkansas, they're a real interesting mix because they got 3 grad transfer seniors, 2 other sit-out red shirts who are playing now, and then they got 4 freshmen. One of them's hurt, Robinson's hurt. But what do you just think of that blend of, and then you got a guy who's back like Desi and Ethan Henderson, so it's a real kind of, United Nations kind of roster or whatever.
No, it's really the way you got to do it in this day and age, and he did a great job of it, especially getting those higher quality graduate transfers because You know, the most recruited player now in the country is the graduate transfer. And I don't think that's going to change, you know, because, you know, they don't really affect, you know, long-term your scholarship numbers and, you know, their immediate help. And they really hit the lotto. I mean, 2 of their graduate transfers are starters and really good players. And the kid from New Mexico is a heck of a shooter. You know, he's a very good three-point shooter, Jackson. So they've got done a great job in terms of their recruiting.
Hey, thanks, Coach. I really appreciate it.
You bet.